my salt bars. I totally screwed up a salt bar last week. Or maybe it was the week before. I guess it was last week. When my mama went in the hospital, well, actually it was that day. It was the day that mama went in the hospital. She come by, she called me and told me she was having trouble. I told her to go to the doctor. Doctor was wanting to send her to Fort Payne and said she was having a stroke. And I was like, we're going to Huntsville. And so I loaded her up in the car and hauled her to Huntsville as fast as I could. I told everybody I drove like a bat out of hell, heading for Huntsville Hospital. But in any case, back to the subject of salt bars. Alright, often salt bars will get so hard and crusty and crumbly that you can't deal with them. So I thought to myself, why put the salt in before it starts cooling? Why not put the salt in once it's cool? So, and let's see if that will respond better than putting the salt in way in advance whenever it's cooling. And of course this is for hot process soap. You don't have the choices when you're doing cold process. But with hot process soap, let's wait and put the salt in right there at the end. And so here it goes. And so I've put my half a cup of salt in there. And see, I'm not all crunchy and crispy and acting weird the way you normally are. And so then here's my kelp. And I'm going to put my kelp in. And I bet it'll be greener and prettier, although it may still turn darker during the cure. We'll have to wait and see. But I thought, you know, when I put the kelp in there, it's always pretty and green. And then after it's cooked and cooled, it turns a dark color. And I thought, why not stick this in, you know, right at the end, just before I put the essential oils in. And so, and I put organic kelp in one side and sea salt in the other. And I put lavender in the kelp. And then I put lime in the sea salt. And then we mix it all up. Let me get rid of those. That smells good. And see how this salt is not making it all thick and hard to deal with because I'm putting it in at the end? This is much better. And you can feel it in there. I swear it don't look like there's enough in there. Hey, would you go get me the sea salt? I wonder if she gave me a fourth of a cup or a half a cup. I'm supposed to have a half a cup. See, I'm not used to putting it in like this, and it's usually so thick and hard to deal with. When I put the essential oils in and look at it just absorbing without any problem, the essential oils and being so movable.
This one's normal.
Oh, is this, this may be granulars. No, I need the powder. See if you can find me some sea salt in the powder form. Because that would hurt. That's too granular. We may just have to go the way it is. I've been using a lot of salt lately. I may be out of the ground. And that may be a half a cup. It probably was a half a cup what she gave me. It's written on the recipe. So I'll just go with it. And so what we'll do first is, oh yeah, I put the green on the bottom. So, did you find any more?
Yeah.
All right. I think she only gave me a fourth of a cup instead of a half of a cup. No, when I look at that, that looks like a half a cup. Give me a half a cup measure that's not wet and let's measure it off. Let's see, make sure you can see, guys. Yeah, she gave me a half cup. All right. Okay, that's all then. You can actually leave that sitting on that one if you want to. And put the molasses back there. All right, now there we go. Now we'll do the salt part, and look how flexible and movable. And I did figure that she did give me a half a cup of salt. I'm just used to it looking horrible by now. All stiff and hard to deal with. And look at this. Nice and flowy. Everything's great. All right. Now I'm just gonna turn the kelp over the top a little. Clean my spoon off in between. Aren't those pretty? Now that's what they're supposed to look like. Let me give those to you. Be gentle with them because they're freshly made. I love this swirl method. I started doing this and it just suited me. Sometimes the spoon gets full and it'll cause it not to swirl over as well. Look at that, so easy to work with, putting the salt in last. Oh well, but just right before the essential oils. It didn't even cool it off too much or anything, like I didn't have to wait till it was 165 instead of 160. There we go. Oh, there you go. So y'all can see what it looks like. We'll cut that tomorrow. All right. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's just a little throw in. I throwed it in real quick, or throwed it together real quick. There you go. So I'm exhausted. We've been making soap for all day. Anyway, so I'll see you tomorrow and we'll cut that. Awesome. All right, would you turn that little screen, that little thingy-badoocher there? Yeah, turn that towards me. Now I can see myself and I know whether I'm in the screen and where I'm holding things up. Alright, so as you know, we did the salt bars differently and they turned out awesome. Look at this. Let me show you one in the mold. This is one in the mold, and this is bar number 27, and it is white and a prettier color. It's not all dark and icky like they were coming out, and the salt just flowed in the hot process soap so beautifully. And this is just easy to come out, of course, from the Essential Depot molds. I'll hand that over to you. We'll move that closer to me. And you just go pop, pop, and put it upside down and put the heel of your hand on it, and ta-da, it is empty. And that washes up real easy because it's soap included. And just take off your excess little nubs that might stick up, and ta-da, it is perfect. And it smells better too. Oh, yeah. The kelp did not get cooked, so you might say, because I put the kelp in right before I put the essential oils in, and so the kelp didn't sit there in the heat from like 200 degrees down to 160. It was put in right at 160, so the soap wasn't so hot, and so it doesn't have that kelp smell that it normally has to age out of. Normally you'd have to let the kelp cure for a while. And I don't smell it. It smells much better. And so I'm going to use, we've got some of bar number 11 in here. These things didn't get washed last time they was used. You just rinse them with hot water, really. They're not hard to wash. Hot water, soap included. So salt bars are just a little bit harder to do. Ah, isn't that pretty? Take that over there and put it right in front of the screen so they can see it.
In that the white is so white and it flowed so easy. Next time I'm gonna do 2 swirls instead of 1. So that it'll have, because I trust that I can and it won't screw up. It's usually you just barely get 1 turn and then you gotta quit, because here, show them that one and the back, front and back of it. You just get 1 turn is all you get, because the salt part of this soap is always getting so screwed up, so stiff and hard to deal with, and it doesn't smell like fish. Isn't that nice? These bars are much better. So putting the kelp in there right before you put the essential oils in at 160, and putting the salt in as well at 160 is the way to go. And now we've been putting in a ½ a cup of salt per a double batch. I normally use like a cup of any kind of additive, and I bet I could even put a cup of salt in there. But you have to use sea salt. You have to use sea salt. But aren't those pretty? They're just really, really pretty. Take that one up there and show it to them. Oh, and it smells so good. It doesn't have that icky fish smell at all. And organic kelp is so awesome to take a bath with the salt. So the sea salt and kelp with lime and lavender is awesome. Now that one's gonna have to go, it's got a hole right there. That one's gonna have to go in the discount bin. We gotta make sure we get that right whenever it's done. So you can go ahead as soon as I get these other 2 and wheel it over there, but if you want to, you can just be taking them over there and putting them on the curing. We've been having to cure our soaps inside here instead of back there, where we don't get as much, where we don't have as much air. The soap just was not curing back there. It's just too hot, and we don't. It just don't run that much on the air conditioning back there, and so it just was not getting cool enough to cure. They were just sitting back there and not drying out. So we had to make a plan. So we decided to make a plan and start curing them here in this part of the building. All right. All right. So sea salt and kelp bars work whole tons better in hot process soap if you put the kelp and the sea salt in at 160 degrees and then put your essential oils in and blend. I had no problems with all the traditional normal icky stuff that salt does and kelp does in hot process soap. And the kelp looks really pretty too. I love the little polka dots that it gives. Now, I thought since we were doing this that I would also show you something else. And I think I've told this before, but I thought I'd just add this in. This is my bee porridge soap, which is getting quite popular. It's been known, it's been being commonly spoke of as a waterproofer. You can take a bath of that and you can get out in the rain and the water will just bead right off of you like Rain-X. But anyway, to get the pretty little things, I would, like dump it in there and then press this down in there, and I would not get a good honeycomb like I've got in this one right here. I've got a really pretty honeycomb, and I wouldn't get that. And let me have the other honey one. And but I figured it out. I figured out how to fix it, and you may wish to try this as well if you're having trouble with parts of it not taking the comb shape like it should. Is I would put the soap in, and then I set and take that spoon and I dig it around so that there's fresh hot soap that was in the middle on the top suddenly, and then drop it a few times to get it flat and then put it on there. And when it's got fresh hot soap on the top, it does beautifully with the honeycomb, and you don't have the problem that you have when you try to put it on soap that started to already get a little tacky from the air. Ooh. Oh, that soap smells so good. Smell that. It smells just like a beehive. And it is beautiful. Just beautiful. You want to take one of them over there? A little bit of white soap got on it right there. Take that over there and show it to them. The comb, the top of it, really good. And what I put in this soap is I put a cup of honey. This is for a double batch. A cup of honey, a cup of bee pollen. No, I think it's half a cup of bee pollen, and 5 ounces of beeswax from the beekeeper, from my local beekeeper, and which I need to get in touch with because I haven't seen him in a while, and I need to get some more. I'm on my last brick, and I need to get a hold of him and get some more because I'm on my last block of beeswax, and everybody loves his soap, so I need to make sure I get some more from him before winter. All right. This is a beautiful soap. It's heavy too. It's also got a cup of oats in it. So a cup of oats, cup of honey, 5 ounces of beeswax from the beehive, so it smells like the beehive. And then I think it's a half a cup of bee pollen, but now there's a video on this, and so you can go that video. I love this stuff. You can go that video and it will help you with what to put the exact measurements, because I did a video just on this soap. There we go. And it just feels awesome. I mean, it feels awesome to touch. I mean, it just don't, matter of fact, I'm gonna keep that a little bit and use it for washing my hands. It just feels awesome. And it's a moisture lock because of all the stuff that's in it. Now, another soap I did new, and I did not video this because I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not. And not knowing if I would like it or not, here's the little plastic thing for 40 so that you can set it on top of those. Would you get out the recipe book so I can tell them how much I put in the soap? I did molasses sunshine, and we're going to see if we like it right now. You want to give me your opinion? It has to be an honest opinion, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Has to be an honest opinion. Okay. So let me, have you got that one? Yeah, hand me that one over there. Have you smelt it?
Mm-hmm.
Smell the loaf. What do you think?
It smells like all those things called like lime and lemon you put in them, the
Uh-huh.
citrus.
It smells like citrus. Can you smell a little bit of the cinnamon in the back note? Okay. Does it smell like molasses at all? It don't have any. It don't have any molasses smell. I put a whole cup of molasses in here, in the 2 loaves, so it's a half a cup per loaf. Oh, the cinnamon has really popped out, didn't it? The cinnamon just really smells nice on that one. All right, so let's cut this and see what this smells like when we open it up a bit. This one's full, it's got cinnamon, it's got some cinnamon and a little bit of clove in it, but it's predominantly citrus. But the cinnamon is taking over at this point. Oh, I can smell the molasses on the inside. Do you smell the molasses a little bit?
You smell it a little more than you could on the outside.
So we put a cup of molasses and a cup of oats, so that was a half a cup of molasses and a half a cup of oats per thing. And then, I think the smell that it has is awesome, but the cinnamon came out real strong in it. Do you smell the citrus more than you do, the cinnamon more than you do the citrus? So in my opinion, I think that the cinnamon ought to be dropped down a notch. So I put in there 4 tablespoons, now this is for a double batch. I put 4 tablespoons lime, 4 tablespoons lemon, 4 tablespoons orange, 2 tablespoons cinnamon, 2 tablespoons bergamot, 1/2 tablespoon clove leaf, and 1/2 tablespoon clove bud. If you don't have them both, you can use just one or the other. A cup of oats and a cup of molasses. But I sort of think that the cinnamon could be toned down by 1.
Yeah, it could.
But now a lot of people that like cinnamon's gonna love this. It's just that right now I don't smell the citrus. The citrus has disappeared because of the cinnamon. So, and normally I'll put one tablespoon of cinnamon per batch. It's a good healthy, opinion as to how much you should put of cinnamon in soap recipes. Is a tablespoon per 3 to 4 pounds of soap. But it is overwhelming the citrus here, and the citrus has just disappeared, and that's a lot of citrus I put in there. Gonna have to change. I think we need to develop that just a touch less on the cinnamon the next time I make it. Now this could also be made with maple syrup, so you could call this maple syrup sunshine. I've done it with molasses. You want to take that one over there, little Sim? And this batch of soap, the reason I didn't record this is because I had a batch of soap that I think there wasn't enough water in the lye or something, because it acted funny, and I had to add water to it to save it. And it was supposed to be one of bar number 27s, but I think that the lye was slightly underwater, and I think that was my fault. I think it was something that, I don't think it was Megger's fault. I think it wasn't. Oh, it smells so good. It smells good, but it definitely needs to calm down the cinnamon, and I think maybe it needs to have the orange increased some. The citrus in it is not coming out enough, in my opinion.
So with it getting to be winter time, a bunch of people will like cinnamon.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So you could do any kind of syrup. You could do honey sunshine and put a cup of honey in it. You could you could do a lot of little things like that in there. But I thought molasses or sorghum syrup was awesome. All right, hand me that middle one. This is our five kinds of heaven, and it is just plain soap with no scent, and it is super fatted with different super fats than normal. Oh, I'm gonna have to change cutters for this one. That white, that there got some colored soaps on it that would show up too much. I know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good at heart. And this has got argan oil in it and a bunch of different oils. Oh, it smells good too. That the other soaps don't have. So this is just a plain soap with oats and honey, but it has extra super fats in it, like argan and stuff. You can do jojoba. It's good to do a soap that's like that has all the fancy stuff in it, but don't put any essential oils in it. So that way you sell it for $5 just like you do the others. But your people that have super dry skin that want that extra moisture of the argan oil and avocado and all that stuff, they can buy it and they'll spend that $5 or whatever your standard price is for your soap. Plus the people that can't have scent will take it also, will use it also, people that don't like a scent. So that works out good for everybody. All right, now I'm gonna do my sinus soap, and then I wanna show you my pretty soap that I do called Gigolo Joe. It's one of my favorites. Oh, this is that 14, the cream one. That one's free. And so now this one is got lavender and camphor and eucalyptus and peppermint in it, and it is great for the sinuses. It doesn't last quite as long in the shower as a regular bar does because it's so heavy. You know, with the essential oils needed to help clear up the sinuses, you have to put this bar heavy in essential oils. Show that one to them when you get a chance. There at the thing. And this is colored with marjoram, which is real pretty. Flip it around and see the other side. I didn't get very many white specks in that one, but we don't stop the white specks. Now, if we've got these massive chunks of white soap in the bar, we'll take them out. But we leave the white chunks because it makes them look real rustic and natural, and everybody just thinks that's pretty. Boy, and I love the way the marjoram shows up in different colors of green. There's little swirls, you know, inside the soap, which is really pretty to me. Okay. So that's really bright and pushy of a soap. Hand me them other two up there once you get those put away. So this is my Gigolo Joe soap, and there's a couple of videos of me doing this, and I make a little swirl at the top, but it's a checkerboard inside, and it is one of my favorite soaps to make. I just love it. And I fill these Essential Depot molds up fully with these so that the checkerboard is nice. So you have to, there you go, you have to lift slightly on one side to get it out. And it's just so pretty. But you see, we've got a checkerboard on this soap, and it's just so awesome. Now every now and then, you know, one won't come out exactly perfect, but then my soap is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be rustic and fun. But I really do enjoy this bar of soap, and the men love it. Isn't that pretty? Show them that. And there's another one. Show them to you. Now this is one of my favorite soaps to make. And it's a big fat bar, and so the guys like getting the bargain. And I still just charge $5 for it, like I do the others. And so you've got a nice checkerboard. Oh, did you show them the top of it? Show them the top of it. With a nice little swirl at the top. And I do that actually with the thermometer. I take and just like ice in a cake. And that one there, see, I ended up with a little bit too fat at the bottom on the thing, and that happens, but it's still beautiful. It still makes everybody happy to look at this soap, the Gigolo Joe soap, because men like to smell that way, and their women like them to smell that way. So commonly, men and women can't agree on the cologne. It's like what he likes to use and what she likes him to smell like is two different things. But this soap makes the men smell so good that even their women folk like them to smell that way. So that is just awesome. Oh, did we run out of room over there? Mm-hmm. We run it out of room, but that was the last of it, so we'll just leave that cured up here on the top. All right, so next time I make this, help me remember that I may want to change the amount of cinnamon and add some orange. I sort of think maybe I need to buy some tangerine. Buy tangerine is what I think I might need to do. You know where these went, right? Okay, so I'll let you put those up. All right, so I had so much rappelling, 652 feet off of a cliff last week. It was awesome, absolutely awesome, and it was totally cool. And everything. I got to the campsite, and some of the other members' tents was up, but nobody was there, and it was out in the middle of nowhere in the boonies, and I was like, oh, and I didn't even bring a book. And then after I did that, well, then I said, well, let me, so I just goofed around, because I wasn't setting up a campsite. I was sleeping in the back of my car on a mattress I had in there. So I didn't have a tent to put up or nothing. So anyway, I went to milling around and everything, and I turned on my little camp stove and roasted me a marshmallow. I said, well, I'm camping, I'm gonna roast me a marshmallow and everything. And then finally, they all started coming back from wherever they went. I guess they went shopping and stuff for groceries. And so then I wasn't alone, and we had an awesome campfire that night, met some awesome people, all a member of my VBATS team. And then the next morning we got up early and we went over to the cliff face, and it was a horrendous hike like this for like an hour, it felt like, up to the top of the cliff face. And then they had rigged it up there, and they were still working on it. And so we all got in our gear and waited, and then we had to rappel down 30 feet to a ledge where we had a safety line that we'd move over to the main rope, and then it was like 652 foot down to the bottom, and the rope weighed like 50 pounds. And so they pulled it up for me, and I racked in and tested my rack, and then unclipped my safety, and then they let go the rope, and it was like, oh, but luckily, it was like this. So I just slowly worked more like that. I just slowly worked my way off, and then right here, I just got down on my knees and then sat down. And then there, it was just whoop, it was just pretty much straight down from there. And I remember standing right here and just looking down and thinking, gosh, that's beautiful. And it was so beautiful. I did not want it to be over. I sort of lagged around a little bit. I think I could have done it faster, but especially there at the bottom, I was just like totally taking my time because I didn't want to get off the rope. But then they had so many people that had to qualify for Bridge Day that was rappelling the rope. Then we had, you can take these if you want to and be washing those. Then because we had so many people qualifying for Bridge Day, we didn't have time for everybody to climb up. So, so we had to hike out. Oh gosh, was that rough stuff. It was like you hiked like along the cliff face, and then you just started going straight up just like that. And it was 652 feet of just straight up. And then it was just straight up for a while, and then you just keeled over at the top. When you finally come out the top, you was like, I said to myself, I hope I never have to do that again. I'd rather climb on the rope. And we got lost twice. I'll never forget Tillman. Tillman would say, I hate hiking. This is the wrong way. We gotta turn around. I hate hiking. We're lost. I hate hiking. and he'd make me laugh, and I was going, just don't leave me. I'll get lost all by myself. And I was a little bit slower. You know, I'm 50, and I was a little bit slower than a lot of those younger folks. And I was but just don't leave me. That's all I was saying. Tim was going, I hate hiking. And he'd say, we're lost. And I'd go, just don't leave me. We had so much fun. That trip will forever be in my memories of one of my favorite experiences. It really will. And so then in like 49 days, I think it is, I go to Bridge Day in West Virginia, and we are going to go down. I'm going to rappel down the bridge up there in West Virginia that is 862 feet or 52 feet. And there's a bus at the bottom that takes you back up there. So I'm going to hit that booger just as many times as I can. I cannot wait to hit that thing. It is going to be so much fun. And it's a much easier rappel because you climb out underneath the bridge and you just lock in and you just put your rack in and you just swing out in a sitting position, and then you test your rack, take off your your safety, and you go down. And so it's much easier than fighting that 50 pounds over the edge of a cliff and everything. And this is going to be like 60 something pounds because it's a longer rope. But anyway, and I'm going to do my best to have footage. I had footage of the cliff, and I'm going to try to get that all organized and get that going for you shortly. All right. Bye, everybody. Oh, and thanks for using my link to Essential Depot, which you can find at KimberlyMcNutt.com, KimberlyMcNutt.com. And also, if you want to buy some soap from me, you can find it at essential-soaps.com. That's ESSENTIAL-soaps, plural.com. And thank you so much for watching my commercials. It helps me so much. Bye, everybody.